What's up, guys? Do we have some exciting news today that came out a couple days ago? The Ram TRX is back. And if you are a truck, car, anything enthusiast, then that is awesome news, because this was the juggernaut. This was the standard badass off-road from the factory truck. And it was pretty devastating news when they canceled it. What was that, 2 years ago now, 3 years ago? Due to Stellantis being a complete cluster F and trying to rebrand and not having any sort of V8 powered anything, gas powered anything, just a complete woke nightmare that we know is not what the consumer wants at all. And finally, it looks like the new CEO of Ram has a head on his shoulders and is bringing back the Hemi, which is awesome, and which even better than that includes bringing back the TRX. So yeah, let's get into it. As always, we got the cup of joe and the stogie for cigars and coffee. This is the coffee infused cigar, the off-brand one, but it's still a very good smoke, and basically should just be the sponsor or long-term stogie of the channel, because cigars and coffee they go together. But that's what I will be having today, along with my cup of joe. So yeah, guys, Ram announced and came out with, I think it was in the first of the year, that the TRX is making a comeback, which is just fantastic. Especially for me, I am a huge TRX fan. I just think they are such a cool truck, such a cool concept. I think they did everything very minty and very nice on those trucks. Even obviously the original TRXs. They are so badass, have such a presence on the road. It's a TRX when you see one. And such a cool concept, technically, I guess you can say you can give that mantle to Ford back in 2011 when they came out with the original Raptor. They kind of had the first idea to it. But then, that kind of just stagnated. And then Ram comes out with the TRX in like 1920. And just kind of blew the lid off the whole thing. Just completely better than the Raptor, in my opinion, and every which way, and really set the tone for the, that off-road truck market. I'm sure you've seen, there's plenty of crazy videos of what those things can do, what they can, the abuse they can take. Just really capable truck, which is impressive for a Chrysler, Stellantis, whatever you want to call them nowadays, product, because they don't have the best reputation. But the TRX has been a pretty good truck. And the first Ram that, for me, I was actually, impressed with, because the interior was very spot on. The exterior, all the numbers, everything about it, the styling. Very, very well done truck. And when they discontinued it, it was kind of definitely a big blow to that community. In general, to the community of most car truck guys love a V8 powered machine. At least the option of a V8 powered machine. If you're going to do an electric version or a V6 version, whatever, but at least give us the option for the big badass V8 if that's what you want. So when Stellantis killed that entirely, that was just a dumb move, and clearly it was a costly mistake to them because, they're constantly posting loss numbers. They're basically going bankrupt because they don't have any products to sell, anything good to sell. So finally, at least Ram had a CEO that had, some balls to come in and bring back the Hemi. And that's what they're putting in the new TRX. It's got the 5.7 V8 Hemi again, but now we're making 777 horsepower instead of the previous 707, and you're up to 680 pounds of torque, up from 650. So, some new numbers for it, but the meat and potatoes is still there. It's everything that you love. The styling isn't too crazy. Just a pretty awesome, well done truck. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go look at the reveal video that Ram did. It's a really cool, well done video. It has the CEO in there explaining kind of what happened, and actually kind of owning up to Ram's mistakes and apologizing for them. And, saying that, we're back and better than ever type thing, which is cool and rare of a CEO to, actually accept responsibility that they were wrong for killing that, and they're bringing back what the customer wants. So there's that, and it was just a really cool video. And it has a cameo of the Diesel brothers in it, and it was just a really cool intro to bring back the TRX. So I definitely encourage you to go watch that video. But let's get into some numbers here real quick of what Ram has released. So we already went over what it is, and my bad, actually, it's the 6.2 liter, not the 5.7. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, it is going to be starting out at $102,000, which is obviously pretty hefty, but everything's hefty nowadays. We went over the horsepower and torque numbers. It's coming in at 6,700 pounds, so quite heavy. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, which is pretty damn impressive for a truck that's big, that is that big, that capable, and that heavy, quite frankly. A whopping 12 miles a gallon, so take that for what it is. And it's set to come out in the summer of 26 is when they're estimating it, and it's going to be a 2027 model year for the truck. So that's when they plan to release it. And I'm honestly surprised that they didn't put the full 800 horsepower in it from the Demon. I definitely thought when, there was rumors of that coming back, I thought they were just gonna, put the Demon engine in it, because that would make most sense. But maybe they're saving that for a mid-year facelift upgrade. Then they'll drop the 800 horsepower version. Obviously, the 777 is definitely still awesome and badass, but just kind of surprised. Let me know if you thought this, if you were thinking kind of the same thing. But there is a new transmission coming with this, and I guess it is with the new Atlantis electrical architecture is what it's dubbed as. 15 electronic modules that have to communicate back and forth, with the engine and the ECU. So that will be interesting because, especially nowadays, it seems like transmissions are just not doing very hot. That 10-speed that Ford and GM cohabitated on has not been doing too great. I've seen a lot of complaints about that. GM's had a lot of transmission problems. Ford as well. So I'm interested to see what happens with this transmission, because especially when you're talking new and you're talking major electronics, there's always going to be gremlins and there's always going to be problems. At least, you know, for the time being. And unfortunately, that's why if you're a somewhat of a conscious buyer, like I would be, if I could buy one of these, is I would probably wait, you know, maybe not get it right away, you know, unless you're some YouTuber or a press guy that needs to, you know, have it right away. But if you're just a regular consumer, I'll probably wait, see if there's any bugs, and then see if they, you know, are going to be able to work them out, because, you know, with 15 electronic modules and a new whole electronic setup with the transmission, you're kind of asking for problems. So if it was me, I would wait a little bit, but that's at your own risk. So yeah, other than that, it's pretty standard from the previous TRX. You know, there's a few upgrades, a few more features that will come about, and I'm sure as we get closer they'll release more info and all that. But it's also good news for guys like me who really want a TRX. You know, I've never owned one, obviously, because they're really expensive. But what I'm thinking is, hopefully now that they're coming back out with the TRX, the previous models are going to drop in price, because now they're not, you know, it's not the last one that's ever going to be made, the last, you know, group of them. So then that's going to increase, you know, the demand for them, supply and demand. So I'm really hoping with this announcement, the used market will kind of at least taper off, you know, and hopefully come down, especially as the new ones start to roll out. That's the ones people are going to be wanting. So maybe the used ones are going to come down in price a little bit, which will be awesome for, like I said, guys like me who really want to jump into the TRX game, but haven't really been able to because the price is, you know, pretty high. Even in the used market right now, you're looking at, I mean, at least $65,000 to $75,000 for a used one. And you might be able to find a cheaper one that's, you know, pretty clapped out, but, you know, for a decent one, that's the price range you're looking at, which is pretty expensive for a vehicle still, unfortunately. So with this announcement, I'm definitely hoping the used market comes down, and we can start affording these things. But definitely drop a comment and let me know if you are kind of on the same mindset, thinking the same thing, and if you think the used market is going to maybe come down a little with this announcement. So fingers crossed, let's hope. And also, I want to hear about what you just think of the TRX in general. You know, for me, I think it's so much more cooler, and just everything about it versus the Raptor. Even the Raptor R, it doesn't do anything for me. You know, it's cool that Ford finally put a V8 in it after all those years of just having the V6 Raptor. But I think that's kind of what, you know, drew the line on the sand type thing for me, was you know, they came out with the new body style in 15. I think the Raptor dropped in 16, but it was a V6, just an EcoBoost. You know, just kind of just boring. You know, you went from a supercharged V8 to now we're just an EcoBoost. And it's looked the same basically all these years. And when the Raptor R came out, you know, there's some subtle differences, but it's, you know, basically the same thing. And, you know, don't get me wrong, they're still a cool truck. You know, and I'd obviously love to have one and blah, blah, blah. But if I'm picking TRX all day. You know, I don't know what it is about the Raptor. They're just not, it doesn't do it for me. Like I said, I don't know if it's just because of I can't think of the word, but, you know, the boring effect of it's been the same thing for so long. And yeah, you put a V8 in it, that's really cool, and, you know, now it's the Raptor R, but, you know, it's $130,000, and it just, I don't know. They're just not, it's not special to me. The TRX, on the other hand, I just think it has so much more of a road presence. I think they look cooler. You know, now with this one, they're more powerful. They've always had a V8 in them. And that's also coming from me, who's not a Ram guy at all, not a Mopar guy, not a fan of anything really coming out of Stellantis, except the TRX. I just think they really hit the nail on the head with it, and it's just an awesome product that I really want to experience, and hopefully I get to experience someday. But I definitely want to know what you guys think. You know, Raptor versus TRX, what the TRX means to you, what you think of this announcement of the TRX, and what do you think it's going to do for the market, and just I really want to know what you guys think about it. So definitely drop a comment on this video. But yeah, guys, I think that's probably going to about do it for this video. As more info comes out, I will be posting and we'll talk more about it. But I'm really freaking pumped, really excited for this video for this announcement, this TRX coming back out. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see what people are going to do with them. You know, what these ones are going to be capable of. And there's some exciting things to come. So, and it's good news just for all of us in general that they're putting V8s back and stuff, and you know, coming back out with the Hemi line, and you know, I'm sure they're going to be doing this with the Challenger and Charger too here coming up. So, some good news if you're a gas-powered V8 fan, because I know I am. So, really excited about the TRX. Couldn't wait to talk about it. Couldn't wait to discuss it with you guys. So definitely drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.